Today I'm going to be showing you the basics of command blocks, such as the different types of command blocks and how to kind of use them. If you are using a keyboard, then you're going to need to go ahead and open your chat by pushing either T or pushing /. If you're not on keyboard, you need to go ahead and look in your settings to see what the button is to open your chat, and when you get into chat you're going to want to press /. And now you're going to give yourself a command block, which you're going to do /give @s, which means myself, command _ block, and you're going to press enter. And the one you're going to get automatically is called an impulse block. So when I show you right here, you have an impulse command block, a repeating command block, and a chain command block. The different colors help tell you which one is which. Impulse is orange, repeating is purple, and chain is a bluish green. Now, you're going to get your command block and you're just going to set it down like a normal block. But you're going to click on the command block as if you're with the same button you use to interact with things. And I have a command in here already. The command is say hello. The command is say, and hello is what it's going to say. When I click this button, you're going to see that it says hello. So that means that the command worked. If you see over here, you'll see it says hover note. A hover note is just a note to yourself as to what the command block is. So I'm going to put say. And you can see when I look at it, it says say above the command block. If I look away, you don't see it anymore. This is to differentiate your blocks from each other, so you don't have to continuously look in and see everything. Now you'll see this is the default. It's impulse, unconditional, and needs redstone. And when you click on each one, you'll see that the drop down shows chain and repeat, conditional, and always active. Right here you'll see @s, @p, @r, @a, @e, and it explains what each one of these mean. I'm going to move over to the repeating. In the repeating, I have the same command. It says hello. It's repeat, unconditional, needs redstone. And when I tap it, you see that it says hello a bunch of times. Now if I'm going to tap it again after all of the hellos disappear, and you're going to see what happens with the button. When I push in the button, it starts, and you'll see that the button stays like in for a little bit and then lets go. When it lets go, it stops the command. So it's in and it's out, and now it stops saying hello. That's because the redstone impulse, I want to say it's what it's called. The impulse is still on, still activating the command block when the button is pushed in. I'm going to move over to the chain command. There's a command in here, but when I press the button, nothing happens. That's because the chain command block has to follow either a repeating or an impulse command block to work, and I'm going to show you that here in a second. A different thing I want to show you real quick is I'm going to break this button. When you move to needs redstone and you click always active, when I exit it, you're going to see that it said hello, but it only said hello once. I'm going to change it back to redstone. Okay, and I'm going to go over to the repeating. Now this time when I put always active, it continues going, breaking the button. It may not look like it's going, but it is. and I'm going to change it back to redstone. Place the button back. So always active means it doesn't need a redstone signal. Signal is what it was called, not impulse. So what I was talking about with the button, when the button is in, the redstone signal is still going when the button is pressed in. Okay, so those are the three main ones. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to show you this. These two are both impulse command blocks, but the difference here is you can see this end of like this triangle shape is flat. Okay, but this end of the triangle shape has a like dent in it. That's because this command block is set to unconditional, and this command block is set to conditional. And this I'm going to show you how this works in just a second. But first, I'm going to explain to you how the chain command block works. So you'll notice in this first command block, I have the command say hello. In the second one, I say how are you. And in the third one, I say goodbye. Okay? I'm going to press this, and you're going to notice it only says hello and how are you. That's because the redstone signal can only reach the first one and the second one. The redstone signal is not strong enough or long enough to reach this last block here. So it's not able to run. Now, if we put it on always active, and then we click the command line, it says only hello and how are you. If you're wondering why it did say goodbye before it, that's because when I left the command block, it ran. Hopefully you don't get too confused on that. What you need to know is when you press this button, it only says hello and how are you. And that's because the redstone signal does not reach this command block right here. Okay, but here I have the same commands in all of these. Okay, but this one is chain and needs redstone. I'm going to press the button, and notice it only says hello and how are you. This one is, they're all the same, but this chain command blocks is always active. And now it says hello, how are you, and goodbye. So if you want a long chain of command blocks, you have to set it to chain and always active. Now we're going to go back to the unconditional and conditional. Right here you'll see that I have a impulse unconditional and a chain conditional. This is set to always active. Every time you have a chain, it needs to be always active. Now, in this command block, I have test for block, I have a coordinate, and stone. So what it's going to do is, you see this stone block right here. That command is going to test to make sure this stone is right here. We're going to run it. And you see it says hello. Okay, now this one says hello, and this one says goodbye. This one's conditional, and this one's unconditional. We're going to run it. It says hello and goodbye. These two are both conditional. It says hello, it says goodbye. And by the way, these are also testing for the same block. Okay? It says hello and goodbye. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to change this command right here to test for block air. What's going to happen is it's going to test for air right here, but it's going to fail because there's stone here. So we should see it, well, we would think we would see it say hello in the chat, but when we click it, it doesn't. And when we look in here, in the first command block, it says the block at this coordinate is stone when it expected air. So it tells us that it failed. When you are using conditional command blocks, the conditional command block works off the first command block. So it needs the first command block, or the command block before it, not the first one. It needs the command block before it to run for the conditional command block to run. So, not necessarily run, but run successfully. So since this one failed to find failed to find air, it did not run successfully, meaning this conditional command block could not run. We're going to come to the second one, and we're going to change this to test for air. You're going to see again, this is conditional and this is unconditional. And when I press it, it says goodbye. Unconditional command blocks do not need the one before it to run successfully for it to run. So this one was unsuccessful, meaning this one cannot run, which basically means it ran unsuccessfully. But the signal from the button still reaches this one and it's able to run. One last one, we're going to change this one to air. These two are both conditional. When we press this, it doesn't say anything. This first one failed, so the second command block that's conditional can't run, and since this one failed to run, the next conditional command block can't run, or doesn't run. So you can make these as long as you want, but if one of them does not run successfully, the next one won't. Okay? Now, one last thing I'm going to show you about command blocks. This is really interesting. I have no idea why this works right here. Normally, or at least you would think, the arrows on the command block show which way the signal is going. So this makes total sense. But as you see here, we have one going this way and we have one going this way. This way to this block makes sense, but this way to this block, and this block doesn't even face this way, but if you'll watch, it says hello, goodbye, ends up. I have no idea why this works, but I thought it would be neat to show you that it does. This one makes sense because the arrow is facing to this one, and this one is facing to this one. And you still have to make the third command block a chain command. You can't make the first command block a chain because that won't work, but you can make the second one, and you have to make the third one a chain. If you press it, it says hello, goodbye, and stuff. One more thing I wanted to show is, let's see. Okay, I changed this one back to stone, so it's going to test successfully. And if you look, when I click it, it says successfully found the block. If you do not want your command blocks to say that the command was a success, you just want it to continue to do what it's doing, you are going to type in the chat box, which is either T or however you get to your chat box, or you just click /. You're going to type in gamerule command block output false. click enter. Now the next time you press this button, it just says hello. It doesn't tell me that the block was successful or anything like that. Okay? Well, I hope you understood this video. I hope you found it helpful, and see you in the next video.